Greetings. Welcome to session number 5 of the Value of Quietude. Our last session was what quietude produces. This session today is called an inside job. Now, my ideas for quietude have quite a range. At first I thought that there could only be one way to be quiet. And now I find that the process is fluid, and it's as fluid as the days that pass by. Ever changing along with my circumstances and along with my mood and along with what God is trying to teach me with each season. Now, some of my ideas include, then this isn't all inclusive, but some of them are, because it changes, like we said. Some ideas include reading my Bible in silence or with quiet piano music in the background. Reading a great book from one of the guys I follow, Graham Cook, Dutch Sheets, Chuck Pierce, Lance Wallnau, or someone new like my new friend Shabri. I just met her this year. I can stare out the window at the clouds or the rain or the snow and whatever weather. I can hike down the road that I live on. I can climb up in the woods on our hill and rest there in silence. Lately, I've been turning my photos into short little videos. They're quiet and peaceful, and they help me to rest. So how many new ways can you think of? Now, I'm going to do a shameless plug here for Shabri Iwusi. She wrote a book last year. She's now a published author. It's called I Am Thriving. I've started watching her on Periscope, and imagine my surprise when her book of her daily affirmations were things that I have been learning over and over and over through the years, and she put them all in one spot. So I knew that as soon as I spent a few months listening to Shabri's affirmations, and I realized that I was going to have to get her book if she ever published one, and sure enough, she did. So thank you, Shabri, wherever you are now. Now, one of the questions that she asks in this book is this: is truth your superpower? Now, my truth is Jesus. Jesus will set me free. So that makes him my superpower. What superpower do you have? What makes you strong? What is your truth? What is it that keeps your motor running? What is it that keeps you getting up in the morning? I'm learning how to ask these questions to myself. Have been learning, but I'm getting a little bit better at it. And the more I hear questions, the better I get. So, what is this process of this inside job process? And what can we expect from it? Number one, I would say decide again. Make quality choices. Now, at first, when you make these choices, you're going to be kicking and screaming. And because your old way of doing things is going to raise up and it's going to start screaming at you, and it's not going to want to do what you want it to do. But you have to keep deciding and making those quality choices that you're going to change. You're going to quiet things down, even for a moment, so that you can get yourself together and be really functional. Number 2 is stop flip-flopping. Keep on going, even and especially when things get really difficult. I have friends that prove this point every day. Life is hard for them. They get up and they keep on going, and they keep on seeking that superpower to keep them going. Now, on Bree's book on page 60. She even says it. She says, begin with solitude. Find an hour or so of quiet time for yourself on a regular basis. Parks, bathrooms, or even a library may be your only escape. And then she says something very important. Do what you need to do to find solitude. Do what you need to do. And some days that's easier than others. Even just getting these videos done. Boy, sometimes I just have to do what I need to do to get it done. So, what do you have to do to find solitude? Ask yourself that question. Sit with it for a while. See what you think. Number 5 is make quiet space a priority. Find that space, make that space in your house, clear it of clutter, and give yourself a place to be quiet and to not be distracted. Put your priorities in order. Clarity, authenticity, and action. All of these things come from quiet moments. Now here again, there's number 6 is the same question. Is your truth your superpower? My truth is Jesus, and he sets me free. So that makes him my superpower. And when Jesus in the Bible wanted somebody to really get something, he repeated himself. So if you hear me repeat myself, it's super important because that's how he did it too. So number 7 is to know how you're wired. You must understand how you're wired. It's not an accident. It's how God made you. Remember that square peg in a round hole? He made you different. He made you the way he made you for a reason. And you have to understand that. Once I began to understand that I wasn't crazy, that I wasn't wired that way, and then I started to ask him how I could use that wiring, that special kind of wiring that he gave me, to do the most good. So, know how you're wired. Number 8, on Bree's book in page 75, she says, guard your energy. What? Guard your space. Be mindful of the company that you keep, because your mental health is a superpower too. It affects everyone around you, so you need to care for it. Don't let distractions take over. I've been so distracted this last couple of days trying to get these videos done. It's always something. But I have to guard that space and take care of it. Had somebody just call and wanted me to go to lunch with them, and I told them, yes, I'll go to lunch with you, but you'll wait because I'm filming. So, I mean, we really have to guard that space, because if we don't guard it and we don't take care of it and we get distracted, if you don't fill up your space, somebody else is going to fill it up for you. That's just all there is to it. So, many times, even now, after years of using these ideas, I do find myself getting distracted. My thinking traps me in the never-stopping wheel of to-dos or why didn't yous. And for these, I've learned to write them down. If it bugs you, write it down. This is a huge tip. When you're in quiet time, there's always going to be something that pops into your head to make you run off and do something else. So I have found over the years, if I write it down, it's not going anywhere, and I can get back to it later. So if they're on that pad of paper, they won't get forgotten. They won't go away. They won't get forgotten. They still try to interrupt, but they can be silenced with a bit of practice. Or as I like to say, shutteth uppeth. Just stop. So my thinking still flies off to unknown places, and it can remind me of past sins, past hurts, past voices. And that, my friend, is illegal. Those things are done, paid for, and gone by Jesus Christ. I have the right to worship, pray, and have quiet time unaccosted by the one who hates my soul. There is an enemy out there, and he wants you distracted because he does not want you to come to the fullness of what God has for you. You're wired a certain way for a certain reason. So get some quietude, learn how you're wired, why you're wired that way, and then find out what God wants for you. These are the things that you do with your quietude. And they're super important. So, that's the end of this session. For session 6, we're going to name that excavation. It's probably going to be one of the hardest challenges you're going to have, but by far the most rewarding. So, I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, have a great day.